I have somebody who seems like they've done some work with relaxation before and I want to give them a little bit more of a challenge, then I will click on balance, which is the top one, and then go to the rock garden. This one's really fun. You have to learn how to elevate your energy as well as lower your energy. So you elevate your energy by bringing in more oxygen with each breath, and you lower it by bringing in less oxygen with each breath.
Throughout this challenge, the rocks will begin to stack one on top of the other if you are steady.
This one doesn't have a cue,
But don't try to
so
control the rocks.
it's great because this gives people motivation to actually develop their own cue. Like I'll say, listen to the clock or count to yourself. Make sure your in-breath is the same length as your out-breath. So breathe in for 3 or out for 3, but you'll have to work on your own pacing of your breath. And then I'll give them some suggestions for doing this at home. This is just what you'll have to do if you want to calm yourself down, if you want to feel good, if you're feeling bad. You're going to need to pace your breath. Okay. So slow your breathing down, and that rock will come down. If it doesn't come down, try closing your eyes. Don't get caught up in what the rock's doing. Stay with your breathing. Keep your breathing slow and calm. And the rock will come down and rest where it's supposed to. You probably want to be doing this with your client to keep your breathing steady with your client. It helps them. There, okay. Good, you got one.
Pretty good.
So a lot of times what will happen is the rock will get stuck. And then if you tell your client to take a couple deep breaths, it'll fly up into the air. So you'll have to practice this on your own, get an idea for what tends to happen. Now you're doing really well. Most people aren't able to do very well with this on their first try. Now that, I haven't been able to figure that out. Did you ever read about what that is?
I think it goes up when I'm breathing in.
Okay. Yeah.
'Cause
Okay.
I just took a big breath in.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that gives you a measure of how much oxygen you're bringing in. So see how that, when you took a big breath, it flew up into the air. Okay. Let's just move on. Okay. So if you have somebody who is really intent on showing you how much they've learned, you can give them the yoga passage, which is really quite difficult. It can take about 10 minutes to accomplish this.
This exercise,
You want to get the light to move down into the
release
circle
all
here.
tension from your body.
I've only had one person
As you
actually do
relax,
this. And I
you
actually,
will begin
to finish it, yeah.
It's important not to
I
try to
have
get
little
yourself
prizes
up.
in one of my drawers
And
for kids. And if they get the yoga passage to work, then I'll give them a prize. And they really like that.
what sort of prizes do you?
Well, it depends on, the age. But if I have adolescents who are really interested in learning to meditate, then I might give them some incense or something like that. It depends. You can have a variety of things. So we're not going to go through this. So that's kind of like categorization of different levels of games. And like I said, you can always go back to the regular feedback screen. If somebody's having trouble with one of them, they say, okay, we need to practice this some more. You need to work on your breathing some more. Do you have any questions so far on this?
No, it's pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
This is the screen that comes up initially?
That's, yeah, that's your interface. It's
Well,
like your
no, there's
menu.
one screen before that, isn't there? That it's either the guided tour or the self.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's the login screen. Okay.
And to get to this,
Okay, so you go, like if you close the program up, you can save your data, but there's no use in saving the data unless you have individual accounts, which you probably don't want to have anyway. So what we're going to do next is going to talk a little bit more about the interface. Okay, you go to Start, you go to Programs, and you can put a shortcut. I haven't done it, you can put a shortcut on there too if you want. You know, probably know how to do that. Okay, then you get to this screen, and that's testing your software and your software pickup. And then your login screen. Click on the name of the student, type it in as password, and then you go to Start Program. Okay, that's what's going to bring you to the main menu. Okay, so this again is your direct feedback, and then guided training. These are, I never use these in my therapy sessions because they're mostly lectures. I go to self-exploration, and then floating balloons. This one is not that helpful. It's just, it doesn't really do much, so I usually skip that one. I use the yoga passage for people who are very proficient. I use the juggling balls before I do anything else with people who aren't really engaged and aren't really interested, to help them see that it really does something. The drifting feather, that's pretty hard. It's not very active. It's not very interesting. Golden horn is fun. It makes noises. Oh, there's one other one. If you click on mindfulness, you can get this in other ways too. But if I have, let's see, yes, okay. This one here called bow and arrow, this one can be really fun.
I did